Good morning, my people. This is Kera TV once again, your YouTube channel station. Today we want to talk about housing, and we want to give you the difference between a tenant purchase scheme housing, affordable housing, and social housing. In a tenant purchase scheme housing, these are houses meant for people who have got job security. Especially these are people who have pay slips. It normally applies to them very well. And these are the people that are employed. Maybe they're in the civil servant or they have a job security which has got long-term contracts. They are the ones who can now afford this kind of tenant purchase scheme housing. Two, affordable housing. This is now where the confusion comes. Do you know affordable housing is not only meant for people who are low income earners? Let's say a billionaire. A billionaire, to him or her, the affordable housing, these are houses that range from 100 million to 200 million to 500 million. These are affordable housing because they can afford houses in terms of 100 millions per month. They can pay that kind of rent. If you come to another category of millionaires, these are people who can afford now houses from 100,000 to 500,000. Still, they fall under the category of affordable housing. If you come now to people who are earning 100,000, these are people who can afford houses from 10,000 to 50,000 monthly rent. These are still affordable housing. So let's not be duped or cheated that affordable housing are for only people made for low income. It depends from which category or from which class you are. Affordable housing can range even to a million, 100 millions, or 1,000 or 2,000. That's the termination of affordable housing. Two, what other distinctive thing in affordable housing? These are kind of houses that are built for purchase. They are not for rental. They are normally built for purchase. And that's why you find government normally enters into PPP, public-private partnership. This is another distinct thing for this kind of affordable housing. And then affordable housing also, they're normally built and constructed for profit making. So that is the distinctive thing on affordable housing. Now I want to talk specifically about social housing. Social housing, you have heard so many people say that social housing is determined or defined by the size of the room. That's not a social housing. Social housing is not determined by the type of rooms or the high-rise they normally build. In a social housing, one of the key factor of a social housing, these are houses built by government 100%. They are fully funded by government 100%. That's one of the key factor of a social housing. Another thing of a social housing, these are houses meant for people who are totally not in any employment. I want to repeat. These are type of houses meant for people who are totally not in any employment. They are houses meant for vulnerable people. And who are the vulnerable people? These are people who are disabled, people who like the orphans and the elderly. These are the vulnerable people that these houses are made for them. The people you see are trading as hawkers or people are doing businesses, these don't qualify for social housing. Social housing is meant for people who are totally not employed or any gainful, even doing any gainful business or hawking or trying to do small business, or low income. Low income earners are not qualified for social housing. That is the one of the key factors that you need to consider. Another thing that you need to consider in a social housing is that social housing are built in a public land and it does not need public-private partnership. And these houses, they're not built for buying or you purchase them. These are rental, and the type of rent that you pay has got a long-term tenancy. It's something negligible that you cannot feel that you are paying rent, and it's something that you can put your family and put other roots in the social housing. Another factor that determines social housing, in a social housing model setup, one, it must have social amenities. And what are these social amenities? One, it must have open spaces. Two, there must be social hall. There must be recreational facilities. It must have public health facility. It has must have public schools, and must have public ECD learning centers. This is the model of a social house. So wherever you go to any type of a housing this is called affordable, or you see type and somebody want to class it as a social housing, so long as it doesn't have these social amenities that I've mentioned, that is not a social housing. So long as it's a house that you pay so that you own it, that is not a social housing. So today I've been very clear. Now you understand what we mean by social housing and affordable housing and tenant purchase scheme. Thank you very much. We shall keep you more informed about housing. This was just introduction of what you want to hear about the housing. We shall talk about the public land, community land, and private owned land. We shall still talk about that one. Thank you very much. This is your Kera TV, brought by Olak Ezra Omondi, your YouTube channel station. Thank you. Be blessed. Let's meet in another episode.